Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the Aura News broadcast. It is 6 o'clock, and that means it's time for our daily English Flash News edition, in which we have prepared a translated version of today's news stories. Today's news: the foreign ministers of the regional countries gathered today in Tirana for the SEECP summit. The Greek foreign minister was absent, and Greece was instead represented by the Secretary for European Issues. The Macedonian foreign minister was absent as well, possibly due to Albania's latest appeal for the respect of Albanian rights in Macedonia after the recent events in Kumanova. Macedonia was represented by its vice prime minister. Serbia was represented by its foreign minister Ivica Dačić. Current developments in the region and cooperation between countries were the main subject of discussion in the meeting, and the Albanian foreign minister Ditmir Bushati had this to say: "The countries of the Southeastern Europe Cooperation and Regional Cooperation Council share the same objectives. The first and the most important thing is that we support full membership in the EU and NATO. This can be achieved thanks to the increase of regional cooperation and thanks to the promotion of good neighborliness and enhancing stability and security in the region." The Serbian foreign minister spoke along the same lines. "Serbia has contributed to the stability of the region," he said, and is making efforts for good neighborly relations, including the dialogue with Pristina. "I think the regional cooperation establishes the foundations for peace and stability," said Mr. Dačić. The meeting highlighted the fact that the biggest problem in the Balkans is unemployment and poverty, and the parties expressed their commitment to cooperate for a better future in this regard. The Macedonian Ministry of Foreign Affairs reacted today against the declaration by the Albanian Prime Minister Rama. 2 days ago, Rama said that Macedonia cannot become part of NATO without fully complying with the Ohrid Agreement. According to the Foreign Ministry, all blockades and threats of blockades from NATO membership are not in the spirit of European values and do not contribute to peace and stability in the region. The reaction of the Macedonian Foreign Ministry also addressed the declaration of the Russian diplomacy, which declared that Albania and Bulgaria have territorial claims in Macedonia. The reaction states, "It's necessary to have sincere cooperation and unconditional support by our neighbors and international partners. Macedonia will continue to constantly work to strengthen the cooperation with all of our neighbors and partners in the interest of advancing the region." The Foreign Ministry says that the strategic goal of the country is to integrate into the EU and NATO. The statement continues, "This is in the interest of all Macedonian citizens for a better future, economic development, peace and stability in the country and the region. Cross-ethnic cohabitation and respect of cultural, ethnic and religious differences and human rights are the foundation of Macedonian society and constitutional order. Altogether, we must be united for a European future." Yesterday, the Vice Assembly Speaker Vanjel Dule resigned from his position unexpectedly. The head of the Party for Justice, Integrity and Unity was appointed in his place, Mr. Shpetim Idrizi. Mr. Dule is a representative of the Greek minority here in Albania, and the Greek Foreign Ministry has reacted to his sudden resignation and his replacement with Mr. Idrizi. The spokesman of the ministry stated that this replacement does not serve the European perspective of Albania. He made the following statement during a media outlet: "The appointment of people to high posts who are directly connected with fascist ideas and Nazism in the past does not serve the good neighborhood in the region and Albania's perspective for the EU integration," he said. Yesterday, the parliament voted for Shpetim Idrizi as the new vice chairman of the assembly, with 73 votes in favor. Over 140,000 young people will be voting for the very first time in the June 21st elections. The EU ambassador Romana Vlahutin met with students of a high school today and encouraged them to truly become familiar with the candidates before voting for them. "You have the freedom to vote for whoever you want," she said, "but before voting, you should check the profile of the candidates on Google," said the EU ambassador. Also present at the meeting, the Minister of Education, Lindita Nicola, highlighted the importance of youth participation in the voting process. The chairwoman of the Central Election Commission appealed to the youth to vote as individuals and to put to an end the practice of voting as a family. Recently, the Council of Europe, the CEC, the Ministry of Education, and the Swiss Embassy have been implementing an awareness program in Albania's high schools, trying to educate those who will be voting for the very first time. Today, the Board of Executive Directors at the World Bank endorsed the 2015 through 2019 Country Partnership Framework for Albania, which proposes a lending program of up to $1.2 billion over a 5-year period. The CPF is aimed at supporting Albania's aspirations to achieve equitable growth and integration into the European Union. The executive directors welcomed Albania's recent progress in implementing fiscal and structural reforms, and they noted the government's strong commitment to these long overdue reforms. The CPF presents a strategy aligned with the World Bank's twin goals of reducing poverty and increasing shared prosperity. The World Bank Group will increase and deepen its support for Albania's reforms that are aimed at restoring fiscal sustainability, stimulating private sector growth, and creating an accountable government. Ellen Goldstein, the World Bank Director for Southeastern Europe, made the following statement today. Albania has a historic opportunity to break from the past and to accelerate its path toward prosperity and integration into the EU. The new World Bank Group Country Partnership Framework for Albania responds to this opportunity and supports country priorities developed in the extensive consultation and engagement with main stakeholders in Albania. We look forward to continued momentum and effective implementation of the reforms to accomplish results for the benefit of Albanian citizens. The CPF supports 3 focus areas. Under the CPF's first focus area of fiscal sustainability and financial stability, the World Bank Group will support measures for improved fiscal consolidation, strengthening public investment management in the transport sector, and improved financial stability. In the second focus area of stimulating private sector growth, the group will provide support to the increased competitiveness and job creation and reduce bottlenecks in the business environment and infrastructure gaps, such as those prevalent in the energy sector. In the third focus area of strengthening public sector management and service delivery, the World Bank Group support is aimed at building citizens' trust in government, strengthening service provision, and improving service delivery and access to basic services. The themes of gender integration and the EU accession process as a long-term policy are found throughout the entire strategy. The World Bank currently supports 8 projects in Albania with a commitment of $512 million, while IFC has a commitment portfolio of $136 million. On the International Day of Biodiversity, the Vice Minister of Environment says that the Albanian legislation over protected areas is similar to that of the EU. The Vice Minister of Environment announced that the EU will give €4 million to the cause of protecting these areas, and Italy will give €400,000. The money will be given to a support project called Strengthening the National Capacities. The Italian ambassador to Albania said that this project will ensure a sustainable economic increase, thanks to the development of tourism in these areas. He thinks that this will help in the EU integration process. He made the following statement. The project was launched in March, and the funding of this project by Italy is part of the cooperation between the countries. The project will boost economic increase, something that will help Albania in the EU integration process. Italy offers its support because Albania is a country with great potential, said the Italian ambassador. That concludes our news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for choosing Aura News as your source for English updates. Please join us again tomorrow at the same time. Thanks, and have a great night.